guys have been keeping safe and keeping well. ਪਿਛਲੇ ਹਫਤੇ ਨਾ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਅਸੀਂ ਗੱਲਾਂ ਕਰਦੇ ਸੀਗੇ about lava, what lava actually mean, you know, and where does it come from, even about the platform lava. And this week we've got you know my guests back on the show. We've got Harpreet and Mandy on the show. So so you know, welcome back to the show, girls. It's really lovely to have you back. So my first question that I wanted to ask is to Mandy. Mandy, what does actually lava mean? Like, you know, what does the word lava actually stand for?
Yeah, so lava, the actual word, has four different meanings. So the first meaning in Sanskrit, it literally means to pull out the roots of something and
Mm-hmm.
then to put it back into mitti, but somewhere else. So this is like a symbol of saying that the lava, the spiritual ceremony that we partake in, we're pulling
Mm-hmm.
ourselves out of Maya, out of like the old habits that we have, and then we're putting ourselves into this new blissful, beautiful journey. And the second meaning is also what we touched upon last week, which is stages, avastas, like spiritual stages. And then thirdly, it literally also means, do you know how we walk around Guru Sahib and do a parikrama? It
Mm-hmm.
means to do that parikrama lava, to do a lav. And then the fourth meaning is so beautiful. It's a knot, like a pyar di gat that you tie, a knot that you tie of love. So just how you tie that palla and you hold that palla and you're walking around, that knot of love that you have with Parmeshwar and that you have that knot between both of you and the knot with Waheguruji.
Mm. And it's really beautiful, isn't it? ਕਿ ਜਦੋਂ ਅਸੀਂ ਪੱਲਾ ਫੜਦੇ ਆ ਜਾਂ ਕੁੜੀ ਨੂੰ ਪੱਲਾ ਫੜਾਉਂਦੇ ਆ, it's, you know, like you said, it's tying that knot with Waiguji, but also with your partner. ਉਹ ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਜੀਵਨ ਸਾਥੀ ਬਣ ਜਾਂਦਾ for your whole life, ਹੈ ਨਾ? And I think, do you guys agree? A lot of people kind of forget the essence of that one. Once the love are actually done, whether it's a couple of weeks passes by, ਜਾਂ ਮਹੀਨੇ ਨਿਕਲ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਆ ਜਾਂ ਸਾਲ ਵੀ ਨਿਕਲ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਆ, ਕਈਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਚੇਤਾ ਭੁੱਲ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਅਸੀਂ ਲਾਵਾਂ ਲਈਆਂ ਸੀਗੀਆਂ, ਤਾਂ ਉਹ ਲਾਵਾਂ ਦਾ meaning ਕੀ ਆ? That knot was tied in front of, you know, Guru Maharaj, and you know, we they kind of forget that, but also the fact that ਕਿ Guru Maharaj ਨੇ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਇਕੱਠਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਕੀਤਾ, ਸਾਨੂੰ ਇਕੱਠਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਜੋੜਿਆ. So do you think people kind of forget that, and if they do, why is that?
Yeah, I
So
feel like that's
go on, so I was
I
going to
feel
ask
like
you,
that's
Mandy.
that's like something that Guru Sahib speak about. Like in Bhai Gurdas Di Avara, which is like Bhai Gurdas Ji was a Gursikh at the time of Guruji, at the time of Tan Tan Sri Guru Arjan Dev Sahib Ji. And Guru Arjan Dev Sahib Ji, they said that Bhai Gurdas Di Avara, if you read these Vara, you literally understand Sikhi. Like you'll get Sikhi and you'll understand the art of Guru Granth Sahib Ji. It's like the key to unlock it. So Bhai
Mm,
Gurdas Ji, they say, ek Sikh, like there's one Sikh, there's doe Sad Sangat. If there's two
mm,
of you, that's Sad Sangat, that's Sangat with each other. And there's
mm,
Panji Parmeshwar, which is if there's five, there's the Panj Pyare, which is Guru Sahib's form themselves, you know? But this is so important because Doe Sad Sangat, it shows that, okay, even if you're busy in your lives, even if you are running around and you're working, but just by being and coming home to another Sikh, you're doing Sangat, you're doing Sad Sangat, and you have the ability to do Sad Sangat. So you have the ability to sit down and listen to a Sikhi talk. You have the ability to sit down and do 5 minutes of Simran and meditate. Or, you know, just to, and the lava, when the promises that you're making to Guru Sahib on the day of your lava, it's to proceed in this ceremony, to proceed in these spiritual stages. So by, you know, like following the rahat, by following our dharam, which is of
mm,
righteousness, and trying to keep away from like all of the Bujjar Krat, for example, the four things that the Sikhs are meant to stay away from, and then fully being devoted to your Guru to initiate this into your children as well, so that they can grow up as Sikhs. Because how many of us or how many of our children might get bullied at school? and won't know like why they're keeping their hair. They might get bullied for, like their patka or having a long gut. And it's because we're not teaching them. It's because we're not having that, not giving them that Chardi Kala vibe of this is why, this is what you need to stand up for, this is what we fought for, this is what we fought for others for. And then in the end goal, by being with each other, is in this life to get to Waheguru. It's like saying, Guru Ram Das Ji is saying to you that you guys today are doing the lava, but it's not just a ceremony to say, okay, I'm a Sikh, I'm a proud Kaur or a proud Singh. It's to say that in this life, you have the opportunity that Guru Nanak Dev Ji has chosen you, your soul in particular, to come into this life after 8.4 million lives of dukh, after Jurasi Lakh June, of come and get liberated from all of that. And that
Mm.
every single one of us, every single person has the opportunity, has been chosen by Guruji to say, come on, like, let's go. We're ready for you now.
And how do you feel about it? The question of people kind of, ਵਿਆਹ ਹੋ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਆ ਤਾਂ ਬਾਅਦ ਚੋਂ ਸਾਰੇ ਚੇਤਾ ਭੁਲਾ ਦਿੰਦੇ ਕਿ ਹਾਂ ਸਾਡਾ ਵਿਆਹ ਹੋਇਆ ਸੀਗਾ, but they don't really focus on ਕਿ ਵਿਆਹ ਹੋਇਆ ਸੀ, these the vows that they've actually taken around Guruji. They, ਸਾਰਾ ਕੁਛ ਚੇਤਾ ਭੁੱਲ ਜਾਂਦੇ. They kind of start focusing on, the arguments and everything, all the negatives. So how do you feel about this?
Um, I think it's actually just the play of the world. You get wrapped up into your 9 to 5, into doing your routine responsibilities, and jithe sada dhyan, like where we should be focusing, that's it's almost like the easiest thing to forget because everything else is a lot more intrusive in our life. I
Mm.
would actually say it's not that people are forgetting, it's that we didn't get to do enough in the past decade or two to actually educate and instill it within us about thinking about Hondusi Viaganaya, what the purpose is. It's not just to live side by side, it's to have your Dhyan on Guruji and to build that kind of family environment where you're elevating your Sikhi. Um, so it's just become the norm that two people would be living together and you live your lives side by side. You go to work, you come home, you have roti. On the
Mm.
weekends, you go see mummy, daddy, and it becomes a loop. Um,
Yeah.
but it's really positive the things that have changed, say in the last 7 or 8 years. There's so many organizations that are helping us, the generation that are the Y generation. Like I see a Dakate Kadea, why should we do this? Who said this? You know, questions are a good thing because you want answers and you're curious.
Mm.
So I feel really grateful that there are a lot of educational platforms and there's more facilities online where we can get answers. And you can just type it into YouTube, type it into Google, and you can find answers that will fill the gaps in our knowledge. And hopefully, I truly, truly believe this, it will help us to connect more with Guruji and also with our partners on the right path on what we should be focusing on.
I think, and I feel, and I hope you guys that are watching, that you take something away from this. But when you are getting married, whoever you decide to spend the rest of your life with, it's not just signing a paper or doing just a la and just doing lava and that's it. ਉਹ ਹੈ ਨਾ ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਰਿਸ਼ਤਾ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਪੂਰੇ ਜੀਵਨ ਲਈ ਬਣ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਹੈ. You called soulmates and you called soulmates for a reason. And when that is done, you're a team. You're like almost like a tag team. Dosti pehla bana lo if that dosti isn't there, because dosti to bina like nothing chalda nahi hega. It's you need trust, you need love, you need and dosti, you need a good understanding each other, but you become a team and a partner. It's a partnership with each other. And many people just don't understand that. Now, Mandy, what is the actual difference? People get there, oh, registry karni hai, paper sign kar lo, vyah ho gaya. Or ja fir lava kar lo, that vyah ho gaya. But, what is the actual difference? Is there a difference in between the two, or is there not a difference? Because either way, ਲੋਕੀ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਆ ਜਾਂ ਸਾਈਨ ਕਰ ਲੈ ਜਾਂ ਲਾਵਾ ਹੋ ਗਿਆ, ਵਿਆਹ ਤਾਂ ਫਿਰ ਵੀ ਹੋਣਾ ਹੀ ਆ, ਹਨਾ? And
Mm.
so what is the actual difference between the two?
Honestly, I know this sounds like really very like a really straightforward answer, and I don't want people to take this in the wrong way, but literally the difference is like whether you love your guru and see that you want your guru to take forward your life together,
Mm,
because you can get married to each other. So I'll tell you like a really quick funny story. So when I was like really new to Sangat and just starting to like do Sangat of like some really funny and like really nice Banjis, there were two of them that were sat with me, and this was like on a night when we were just talking, and they were both divorced and they'd both come out of marriages just recently, and they were just both sat me down and they were like, this was so I was like in my early 20s, and they were like, Mandeep, like just listen to me right now. They were like, Mandeep, before you take before you get married, make sure you take Amrit, make sure you have a Gursikh boy. And I was like, okay, like I was really new to everything. I was like, why are they telling me this already? And they were like, no, trust me. They were like, this was me. They were saying this about themselves. They were like, this was me. This was my husband. And every time we would try and go towards each other, we were trying to meet in the middle, and then we would just miss. And they were like, every time we tried to like work towards each other, buy each other presents, work, like try and do anything, we would just miss each other. But they were like, but then afterwards they kind of started coming into Sikhi and started understanding the relationship with the Guru. They're like,
mm,
when you're in Sikhi, when you're both working towards a goal, this would be you, this will be your husband, and then you're working towards getting and meeting at the right destination, to the same destination. And I was like, oh, that makes a lot of sense. Like, thanks for letting me know. Like, I had no clue about any life experiences, about anything that had gone on or anything. And that's not to say, obviously, that things don't go wrong in Gursikh marriages too. That might happen. Like, but it's all about, if you both do and are both working towards the same goal, you'll both reach that destination one day, you know, and you're
mm,
both going towards the same place, and you both have that same viewpoint. Whereas in like the sansar, in the normal world, people can change overnight. Like you can just like think like, okay, today I have this goal, tomorrow I have this goal. But if you have that one, both have that one goal, that okay, we want to meet Guru, we want to get out of this 4.8.4 million lives, and we want to like forever be enlightened and have no more dukh, etc. And you know, we want to be spiritual, like bunny people, like good people. Then you're working towards that goal. And then similarly, like why people are forgetting or not trying is because they feel like they feel like they can't ask questions.
mm,
But that's where there's a whole like massive energy shift and a whole change, where we're speaking in English now, we're speaking in so many different languages, and Punjabi and Hindi and like European languages that you can find, where you have people that are accessible and sangat to you online around the world that can answer your questions. And that's without being judged, without, you know, feeling like you can't ask these questions, and or even feel like you are being disrespectful when you ask these questions, because
mm,
only that way can we get knowledge and find that relationship, find that balance of getting to our guru, you know, like of what is the meaning of this life, and how to get through problems, what our guru says to us, what, like for example, the course that we were talking about with Harpreet Benji and Lava .co.uk, we were speaking about telling people, you know, the advice that Guru Arjan Dev Ji gave their daughter, or the advice that the gurus gave before they would get married and after, and really delve into this and see how that applies to us today, because what the guru said is so timeless.
mm. I agree. And not just that, also another question, ਕਹਿ ਦਿੰਦੇ ਆ ਕਿ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਵਿਆਹ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਕਰਨਾ ਚਾਹੀਦਾ ਹੈ ਉਹ ਸਵੇਰ ਨੂੰ ਤੜਕੇ 4 ਵਜੇ ਕਰੋ, because ਉਦੋਂ ਸਾਡੇ ਘਰ ਵਿੱਚ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਆ ਕਿ I come from a Gursikh family. My mom and my nanny both Amritari. Not everyone is, but we have, we do have a separate room where we do part and everything like that. And we have part on in the house, 24/7. And it's really peaceful to actually be listening to part all the time. When we're sleeping, part is on. When we wake up, part is on. It's on in our house 24/7, and it's lovely. But a lot of people, don't understand कि ਜਿਹੜੀ ਲਾਵਾਂ ਹੁੰਦੀਆਂ why it's done at a specific time. ਕਈ ਕਹਿ ਦਿੰਦੇ ਆ ਕਿ 4 ਵਜੇ ਉੱਠ ਕੇ ਲਾਵਾ ਕਰ ਲਓ, ਉਹ ਬਹੁਤ ਵਧੀਆ ਹੁੰਦਾ। ਸਾਡੇ ਘਰ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਆ, ਸਾਡੀ ਬੀਬੀ ਕਹਿੰਦੀ ਆ ਕਿ ਜਿਹੜੀਆਂ ਲਾਵਾ ਹੁੰਦੀਆਂ ਨਾ 4 ਵਜੇ ਤੋਂ ਜੇ ਕਰੋ, ਉਦੋਂ ਨਾ ਗੁਰੂ ਪੀਰਾਂ ਦਾ ਪਹਿਰਾ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਆ। ਐਂਡ ਇਟਸ ਗੁਰੂ ਮਹਾਰਾਜ ਦਾ ਉਦੋਂ ਫਿਰਕਾ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਉਸ ਵੇਲੇ। ਐਂਡ ਦੈਨ ਸਮ ਪੀਪਲ ਸੇ ਨਹੀਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਨਹੀਂ, ਜਿਹੜੀ ਲਾਵਾ ਹੁੰਦੀਆਂ ਆ ਉਹ ਨਾ 12 ਵਜੇ ਤੋਂ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਹੋਣੀਆਂ ਚਾਹੀਦੀਆਂ। Why is that? Because some people don't actually believe that, because no one's going to turn up at a wedding at 4 o'clock. We know my mans know that they're not going to turn up at 4 o'clock. Yeah. So
That's
why is
so
that?
not true, Benji. No, trust me, people will turn up. I remember with our wedding, so it was really last minute. It was so last minute. It was just pre COVID, and we kept on the card. We kept the wedding very early. So with
Mm,
marriages group, we had like Asa Divar, Sukhmani Sahib, and then Kirtan and Alava. And so we had it in the middle because he was from London, I was from Leeds. So we had it in the middle in Warsaw. And we thought, okay, definitely it's a 2 hour journey. Nobody's going to wake up. Nobody's going to come on time. And we had prepared for like very few people. Seriously, like we were like, no one's going to come. And my brother had a massive wedding. He had a party, he had everything, like the whole of like the bind and the whole of, we call Leeds the bind, right? The whole, the whole, everyone came. And then on my wedding, just because they were so intrigued with what was going to happen, we had almost double the amount of people come,
oh,
and
wow.
we couldn't cater for that many people. Like honestly, when we sat there and like the Suggans weren't adding, we were like, wow, like where did all these people come from? Like what was happening? And the reason that we kept it early was because one, we wanted to feel that experience of Amritaville, there's just another Shanti around.
Mm,
So for example, in the wedding hall, because people start talking when there's kirtan happening.
mm.
What my friend did was really funny. We had she quickly before the lava turned off all the lights of the darbar, and then the only lights were around Guru Maharaj, and
Oh,
everyone,
wow.
especially all the bibia, was so shocked. They were like, "How baki ho gaya electricity no?" But it made everybody quiet and it made everybody focus on the words.
Mm,
And at that time, doing it at Amrit Villa or any time in the morning, the reason that we do it in the morning is because Maharaji, Guru Ram Das Ji, they're such a perfectionist about each and every single thing that they do, our gurus are. So they wrote lava in the rag asa. So
mm,
so like asa divar, we only sing in the morning because it's a morning Shabad. So the time of like Asa Divar that we had before the wedding, which is actually Guru Sahib's hukam to have Asa Divar beforehand. And then the rag that Guru Sahib wrote lava in was a time of the morning. So we have that time before 12 o'clock.
mm.
So that's
And
exactly why we have it.
so, and then there's a lot of people, that say, it's fine, je bara to upar bhi chal gaya, it's okay. Some people aren't religious and they don't agree with it. And कई कहते हैं नहीं, जे 12 बजे तो ब्याह हो गया था, it'll be par ho jana on the bride and the groom. And only bad luck, yeah, and all these superstitious things that people tell you, all the auntie tell you. Sorry, aunties, I know you guys are watching this right now. Um, we see a lot of that and we hear a lot about that. Is that actually true? Or is it because Jiri Gurbani Hindiya, it's because it's written in a certain time, it has to be, recited at a certain time. And ਤਾਂ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਕਿ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਵਿਆਹ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਆ ਉਹ 12 ਵਜੇ ਤੋਂ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਹੋ ਜਾਵੇ ਤਾਂ ਉਹ ਸ਼ੁਭ ਮੰਨਿਆ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਆ।
Yeah, so even like what I said earlier, so Asa Divar, the rag Asa, it's an early time, it's Amrit Villa time, Hana. The
Hmm.
rag that is written, so Suhi Mahalla Chotha is by Guru Ram Das Ji. The rag Suhi you sing at a certain period. So, for
Hmm.
example, like all the rags in Guru Granth Sahib Ji, all the rags that we sing the kirtan in, is sung in a certain way to show us and to bring out a certain emotion.
Hmm.
So, if it's sung at that time, that's like the perfect time to experience that. Does that make
Hmm.
sense? So it's like
Yeah.
if you sing something about spring and then sing it in like wintertime, it just wouldn't make sense with the mahal, with everything that's happening. But then with Rag Suhi, singing it before 12 o'clock is perfect. And then after that, it's not about superstitions. Like we don't believe in a hojana and like, oh, if you wash your hair on Tuesdays and like so someone's like billi nimarjana or something like that. It's not about any of that. Like it's literally like the Guru Sahib has said this, and then the
Mm.
Guru is the master. We are the Sikhs, we are the disciples. So we listen to the master, right? And whatever the master will say, they'll show you that. They'll show you that experience, and you'll be
Mm.
able to connect and be in tune with that.
Mm. And Harps, how do you feel about it? You know, when people say all these
Um,
superstitious things, you know, how do you feel about that? And, you know, do you believe lava should be done before 12 o'clock?
um, I was actually really blessed to have a similar experience as Mandeep. So my husband and I, we also got married at Amritsar, and it was really, really important for us. And I think with any couple that are considering it, you most likely will face some challenges with your family. Um, my parents' biggest concern was any Niona, the guests won't come, but we had the same experience where the bar side was packed out, and we had an hour of Simran before and then our Anand Karaj, and everyone turned up for 3 o'clock, which was um, very shocking for my family because we would turn up everywhere half an hour late. So even the fact that my parents got there on time was amazing. I even came in a separate car to my family just to make sure at least I would be there. Um, but it was an amazing experience, and our local Gurdwara is Park Avenue Gurdwara Singh Sabha, and they have Simran every morning anyway, outside of lockdown, and they have a similar atmosphere where they have the lights off and there's only lights around Guru Granth Sahib Ji, and instinctively your focus is there. There was so much silence you could hear a
Mm.
pin drop during the lava. It was just the energy was amazing, and I would encourage anyone, any couple that's thinking of it, to try to make it work. And the more sangat you speak to, you'll actually realize it's a lot more common. And the kind of the worries that parents have that the guests aren't going to come, ਅਸੀਂ ਇੰਨੇ ਸਵੇਰੇ ਕਿੱਦਾਂ ਸੰਭਾਲੋਗੇ, ਲੰਗਰ ਕਿੱਦਾਂ ਤਿਆਰ ਹੋਗਾ, everything happens. Guruji makes everything happen. And
Mm.
it's a blessing of its own. Having your Nand Garage at the common time, the normal time of 10 o'clock, it's still, I mean, it's still Kirpa. It's still the same. It's just Amrit Vela time, as Mandeep was explaining, there's a different kind of Anand. Like the whole world hasn't woken up yet. And as
Mm.
Sikh, we're lucky enough to be given that amazing advice and instruction to be awake at that time and get in tune with ourselves. So yeah, I would just encourage anybody, any couple that's thinking about it, just try, put the work in, try to make it happen.
Yeah,
Sorry,
I
Benji, can
think,
I just add as well?
go on, Mandy.
I was just gonna say that, do you know, so this kind of Anand Garage, when people focus on like, okay, we're gonna have like this Kirtani and like we're going to focus on this and make it nice and like have this in Langar, etc. It makes the actual Anand Garage and the actual bit that you're getting married, the celebration. Like a lot of
Hmm.
people focus on the reception and spend thousands and thousands upon like what decorations there's going to be, what food there's going to be, what like DJ they're going to have, etc. But then imagine spending all that time and all that effort on the darbar, on the bit that you're actually getting married, and imagine like the peace and the impression people will go away with, how much they're going to
Mm.
learn from that. Do you know what I mean? Like it's a whole event in itself, and that adds
I,
so much beauty to the day.
mm.
Hmm.
No, I agree with that. And, you know, I myself, you know, feel like for me, I would not want a reception, a wedding. You know, all my family, like I have a very big family. especially from my nank's side. And in ਜਿੰਨੇ ਵੀ ਸਾਡੇ ਘਰ ਦੇ ਫੈਮਲੀਆਂ ਚ ਵੀ ਰਿਸ਼ਤੇਦਾਰਾਂ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਵੀ ਵਿਆਹ ਹੋਏ ਆ, for all my viewers that are actually watching, yes, we have had massive events, massive parties where we've even had 900 people and to a thousand people at an event for a wedding. You would think, how do you cater that many people at a wedding? But it has happened. And for me, on the other hand, I wouldn't want a big wedding. I would just want a Gurdwara wedding. And I'd say, the other question goes, how do you kind of persuade people around you to, especially your in-laws, because Kevin,
Mm.
you're the boy side and the girl side, and just because you're the girl side, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਰਾਜ ਨਹੀਂ ਚੱਲਦਾ ਹੈਗਾ, ਮੁੰਡੇ ਵਾਲਿਆਂ ਦਾ ਰਾਜ ਚੱਲਦਾ ਆ. So how do we kind of beat that? What do you girls think?
So I was really lucky
I
with
think
my
it's
in-laws.
possible if Mandeep, please you go ahead first.
Okay, my answer is just quickly short. It was just that I was going to say that these days, I know that like a lot of people aren't like this, but these days it is usually the bride and groom's decision. And a lot of
Mm.
people do respect that. They're like,
Hmm.
okay, it is your day. It's how you guys want it. And that's exactly the same way that my in-laws were. So they said, okay, cool, like this is what you want, so we'll do a coach at this time. And they tried to cater towards that, because if people would cater towards paying like 50K or 100K towards a reception and try and make that work, then why can't they make it work, to wake up a little bit earlier? Like it wouldn't make sense. Sorry, Benji, what
Mm.
were you saying?
Um, I was going to say 2 points. One, I totally agree with you that usually it is whatever the couple want. They're like, okay, जितने थोड़ी खुशी आ सी ताई करोगे. Sometimes, like, it might not be the case. Definitely on my parents' side, my mum was very supportive. This is completely alien to me. He was very worried about the guests not being able to come. It wouldn't go as smoothly. But to be honest, like my husband and I, we both had kind of conviction, and we knew in our heart that this is what it is. Holy, holy, pyar de naal. Actually, my husband had to remind me again and again, keep saying it, pyar de naal. And anything that they had in their mind, which was a challenge, I would ask them, okay, manu just so for like, why is he nakar sakde? And just listening to their concerns, doing research, and then addressing it. Because obviously, any kind of conversation in a professional setting, in a family setting, without communication, there's going to be no progress. So just understanding what the in-laws' concerns are and then addressing it one by one. If you have logical points that are backed up by Barney and like our itihas and examples of people within Sikhi, then so it's just about giving as much information. No couple should be in kind of like war with their time. It's hard and connecting to families for the rest of your life, right? So you want to set it off on that tone.
And and on that positive note,
Mm.
that we, for all my viewers that are actually watching today's show, oh wait, ding 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 ding, ਉਹ ਫੋਨ ਫੇਰ ਵੱਜਣ ਲੱਗ ਪਿਆ. ਉਹ ਹਾਂਜੀ ਜੀਤੋ ਭੈਣ ਜੀ, ਹਾਂਜੀ ਹਾਂਜੀ ਅਸੀਂ ਨਾ ਸ਼ੋਅ ਅੱਜ ਕੀਤਾ ਸੀਗਾ, ਤੁਸੀਂ ਜ਼ਰੂਰ ਦੇਖਿਓ। ਤਾਂ ਹਾਂਜੀ ਹਾਂਜੀ ਮੈਂ ਆਣਾ ਆ। ਉਹ ਮੈਂ ਕਿਹਾ ਜੀ ਵਧਾਈਆਂ ਵਧਾਈਆਂ ਕਿ ਹੋ ਗਿਆ ਨਾ ਮੁੰਡੇ ਦਾ ਵਿਆਹ। ਵਿਆਹ ਤਾਂ ਹੋਣਾ ਹੀ ਸੀਗਾ ਕਿ ਅਸੀਂ ਲਾਵਾ ਬਾਰੇ ਗੱਲਾਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਕੀਤੀਆਂ, ਤਾਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਸਮਝ ਵੀ ਲੱਗ ਗਈ। ਚਲੋ ਚਲੋ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਠਹਿਰੋ ਠਹਿਰੋ, ਮੈਂ ਆਉਂਦੀ ਆ, ਤਾਂ ਨਾਲੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਲੱਡੂ ਖਾਂਦੇ ਤੇ ਨਾਲੇ ਚਾਹ ਚੂ ਪੀਂਦੇ ਆ। ਉਹ ਹਾਂਜੀ ਹਾਂਜੀ ਕੋਈ ਗੱਲ ਨਹੀਂ, ਓਕੇ ਜੀ, ਸਤਿ ਸ਼੍ਰੀ ਅਕਾਲ ਸਤਿ ਸ਼੍ਰੀ ਅਕਾਲ। ਉਹ ਮੈਂ ਕਿਹਾ ਜੀ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਨਾ ਕਿਤੇ ਵੀ ਜਾਇਓ, ਹਨਾ। Wrapping up on today's show, we've had Dito Penji come in and join us on the show। ਉਹ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਫੋਨ ਕਰੀ ਨੇ ting ting, but ਤੁਸੀਂ ਦੂਰ ਨਾ ਜਾਇਓ। I hope you guys have actually enjoyed today's show, and I hope you guys have actually taken something away from this. Lava, what do lava actually mean? Taking a good understanding before you actually take that big step is really important, and understanding it. So maybe do some research, understand it, because it is a very big commitment and it is a partnership and a lot of compromise. a lot of trust within each other. There's a lot of things that take play in this. It's not just signing a piece of paper or doing lava, it's more than that. And as we've been doing today's show, and I hope you guys have enjoyed it, and I hope you guys taken something away from it. दूर ना जाओ ਅਸੀਂ ਫੇਰ ਆਵਾਂਗੇ ਅਗਲੇ ਹਫਤੇ more about different conversations and talks, but every Thursday 9:30 the Kiran Rai show याद रियो and चेता ना भुलायो अगले हफ्ते ਫੇਰ मिलते हैं for today ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ ਤੇ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ. That's it, that's a wrap. Thanks guys, I really enjoyed that, that was so cool.